We're just going to give this one more minute. We are live streaming this, so I just want to give people a chance to sign in. Okay. Okay, so we'll start right on time. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Whitney Webb. I'm the founder of Launch Generation and one of the co-directors. There's a song that's been running through my head all week, and it's the song that goes, I wish that I knew what I know now when I was younger. And you're welcome, because you will have that stuck in your head now for a few days. But that really is why I started Launch Generation, why I created this program. I felt like I was a little bit lost growing up with certain topics around finance and who I was as a leader, what it meant to be a leader, and around business, not only how to start one, but how to take part in one. And that's really at the core of what we do at Launch Generation programs. We try to build confidence in those topics that I think are so imperative for our future leaders. So, I mean, really along with imparting wisdom that I wish I had known, I think we've all seen in the last decade especially the rapid growth in technology, how AI is changing industries and really changing the way that we live our lives. And so myself, along with really all of my colleagues at Crescit, we have a really strong focus on how we support our next generation of leaders, how we educate them, how we empower them, and again, how we give them that confidence to move forward and create our future. So for those of us joining us through the live stream, we're here today in the debate halls at the Cambridge Union Society. So this building dates back to 1815, and it's been the venue for a few people you may have heard of, such as Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, and the Dalai Lama. Might have heard of a few of those. And joining those ranks today are 16 teenagers. So you're going to hear from them in a few minutes. There's 4 teams who will be pitching their business ideas. And these ideas are really solving problems that our group saw in the world. So problems that they identified and gaps that they saw in market. So I'm excited for you to hear about those. But before we jump in, I want to give a little overview of what we've been doing this week. So it hasn't even been a full week yet. I want to preface the team started working on these business pitches on Tuesday. So it's been 3 days, and you'll see through this slideshow that I'm going to share, we've been doing a lot. We have fit a lot in. So I'll go over these very quickly, but our first day was called the Network Effect. We had the teens go through an assessment called Real Colors, basically a personality assessment, helping them understand their own behaviors, their own communication styles, and how to work with one another. We went into Quickfire Business Challenge, our first one of the week. We set group agreements on how we would work together throughout the week. And we moved into some quick branding and marketing exercises. Day 2, we call the Day of Adulting. We think it's really important that before you get into creating a business, you first understand how to take care of your own life, how to take care of your own finances. So this day included goal setting, negotiations. We put them on the spot with some mock interviews. We did budgeting activities, credit, credit score. Again, all of those things that aren't traditionally taught, but we definitely need to know. We touched on investing, what it means to invest in different vehicles. We then sent them off on a scavenger hunt through Cambridge, doing some leadership challenges there, and ended that day with a local improv coach coming in to teach, how to improv, even if you don't have the answer to something. You'll probably see them put that into practice in a few minutes. The next day is really about design. We brought in an expert in the space of artificial intelligence, had a lot of group brainstorms on how is this going to affect industries, but what are some of the gaps in the market that might be created. We talked about design thinking and how to use a human-centered approach to how we not only create businesses, but how we design our lives. We did a punting tour through Cambridge and ended with some leadership panels. Day 4, this is when we really started to get into the business side of it. We had an amazing speaker come in who has actually just joined us in the audience here, a local entrepreneur who really shared her stories of grit and resilience and persistence. She's created some amazing products, but has just had a really neat life path. So bringing together those lessons on entrepreneurship and leadership. So we're excited for her to be here as well. The next day, the launch, continuing to work on business pitches, but also bringing them out into Cambridge to see some of the local businesses. The first space we saw was called MakeSpace. It's full of 3D printers and other items where several businesses have been prototyped. And immediately after that, we took them to a VC firm so they can see what it looks like to then have your business brought out into the world, and what it takes to do that. And then finally, yesterday, we focused on presentation skills. We had a lot of what we call crunch time. So throughout the week, the students have been earning social currency, just some little fake money that we've printed up for asking good questions, for being a good teammate. And yesterday, they could put that to use and buy our time to help them create their businesses. So that brings us to today. And before we bring the teens up here, I'd really like to introduce you to our staff. This has been an amazing staff that we've had this year. So I'd like them to all come up here and give a very quick introduction of who you are and a bit about your background. And then we'll kick it off to the teams.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Gill, and I'm the co-director here at Launch Generation with Whitney. I'm also a director of family governance and education at Crescent, and Launch Generation is absolutely the best part of my job. I feel so lucky to work with an incredible team and really impressive and thoughtful students, and I'm always thankful for this opportunity. So thanks for having me.
My name is Niera Wright. I am one of the team leads. I have been working in programs like this. I started with Whitney about 9 years ago, so I love seeing each group come through and all the amazing things that they do. I bring my branding, marketing, and business advertising expertise to the kids, but they bring even more out of me when I get here, and I love it every time.
Hi, everyone. I am Kayla Sorofsky. I am the Assistant Director of Launch Generation. I started my journey with Launch Generation as a camper 5 years ago and have been involved with the staff since then, which has been extremely formative to my professional experiences. And outside of Launch, I work in higher education, where I work at the University of Washington School of Public Health as the Experiential Learning Coordinator.
Hi everyone, my name's Dean Leake. I'm a performance coach and I've had the privilege over the last 15 years to work in Olympic high performance sports and now consult with big business on how to build high performing teams and team culture. And despite all of that experience, I feel like I've learned more over the last 5 days speaking to teens who have really inspired us as to how to reconnect with our own creativity and, yeah, just have a bit more fun. So I thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hughes. I'm a psychotherapist in New York. I have a private practice in Brooklyn. But before that, I worked for a decade at a fund manager in New York City. I was in investor relations and I worked with families. And this week, I've been a visiting mentor, I guess I would say, and I've taught a piece on communication and business etiquette, but it's been my privilege to get to know the participants and the staff, and I'm just so happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Karina Huang. I'm the junior advisor for this program. I used to be a student here at Launch, and this is actually where I found my passion for what I study now at Boston University, which is business with a concentration in marketing. And it was really nice coming back and being able to spread my passion for business and entrepreneurship that I found here.
Hi, my name is Simon Ward. I'm a Royal Marine and have been for about 18 years. I've talked to the kids about leadership, ethical decision making, stakeholder engagement, and how to conduct operational planning. I currently command a specialist commando unit in the south of England.
Thank you, guys. All right, with that, we are going to start with the first business pitch. If we can get the slides up for that. Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to start off by telling a little story about my friend Mia. She's a California dreamer who comes from a humble background, and she's absolutely determined to be a fashion designer. But she's been faced with intense competition for internships and just can't necessarily seem to find a way to do it. So, to solve this problem, my team and I created Turn It Up, an app that allows students to find the internship for them. Now, Mia's creating eco-conscious clothing for micro-influencers, and she absolutely adores it.
So we have done research about internship data, and we found a big gap in it, like a problem that students don't have a site where they can go and find a new internship, a new and developed internship, and an internship that you can really use all the time and would be very, very helpful for everyone.
Our target audience are high school and college students between the ages of 16 and 24. Having said this, we conducted market research to see if there's a demand in the market, and our results seem to be quite promising. 91% of students said that they would be more likely to apply for internships if they were recommended by past interns. In addition to this, 85% of students said that they would be interested in a platform that is dedicated to helping students find internships. This is where Turn It Up comes in.
When we were creating our app, we wanted two things: simplicity and entertainment. So, keeping those two things in mind, we created our three key concepts: opportunity, insight, and our users. When you first download the app, you're greeted with one of two options, if you're a student or a company. After that, it simply takes you to your account login or account creation.
You're also prompted to fill out more information so that our AI can create a customized feed and generate a resume. If you already have a resume, you're welcome to upload it.
Once you fill out the aforementioned information, you'll be launched right into your feed, where you can see customized posts and videos from past or current internships. On my rightmost hand side, you can see a video from Karina, an intern here at Launch Generation, posting a video about her day-to-day life as an intern. In the middle, you can see how the posts and descriptions of those posts will be formatted. If you already had a company in mind that you were interested in, don't worry, we also have a search engine. And not only do we have a search engine, You'd be able to follow the company as well, or follow specific content creators that you really enjoy.
Our target market is people from 16 years old to 24 years old. Our company is going to start in California, and we are looking for students that are open to learn and are ambitious.
We've researched 10 main competitors, including LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and Handshake, and we found that they target a much larger audience, where we're more focused on students specifically and provide a more engaging experience. We have 3 main sources of revenue. First is businesses pay to participate in our company. It's $70 per month, or they can commit for a full year for $800, compared to LinkedIn's price of $140 per month. Our second source of revenue is a student premium subscription. The app is free, but you can choose to pay extra to get rid of ads and have helpful analytics. And that is $5 per month compared to LinkedIn's $40 per month. And our third source of revenue is advertising.
We will market Turn It Up in 5 ways. It's going to be emails, podcast, SEO, social media, and local businesses.
To build on this, we'll be paying for search engine optimizations to allow our website to be seen first. Furthermore, we'll be working with passionate micro-influencers on YouTube that will use our app to find their own internships and then upload it onto Turn It Up.
We're seeking investment of $95,000 in return for 20% equity in the company. This will cover costs in app development and business licensing. We forecasted that in the first year we would make up to $250,000 in revenue and $30,000 in profit. And then at year 3, we estimated around $1 million in revenue and $600,000 in profit.
So let's turn it up.
Any questions?
Right. First of all, thank you for this wonderful presentation. I hope you will find a proper investor for your app, for your VC project. And several questions as follows. Have you thought about any collaborations with other app or other institutions, organizations? 3 questions. Number 2, have you thought on exiting, on selling your app one day, and on potential buyers for your app? And question number 3, which is pretty simple, why California? Thank you.
So for the first question, for the social media, we are going to pair up with Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, where we're going to do ads there to advertise our products. And for why California, our product should be in USA, and California, in our opinion, it's an area where a lot of colleges are at and high schools, which means that people would be interested in our product. And right now, we're only focusing on expanding our company. Of course, we might sell it, but now we're just focused on engaging with other local businesses and expanding our own.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Turn It Up?
You mentioned for the premium subscription that students or people seeking internships would have access to better analytics or additional data. Can you provide some examples of what that might be?
So the premium subscription, it's no ads or kind of analytic data of kind of who is looking at this specific internship, who are, how popular is it, and information like that.
In addition to that, if they're following specific brands and businesses, they'll be able to receive information and notifications. They'll be notified first if there are any internship opportunities available.
Yes, thanks again. Fantastic concept. I know there's a lot of people looking for talented interns, and it's hard to find them. So I'm wondering, how can you partner with maybe universities? Have you thought of how universities, because I know they score themselves based on students that have a job after they leave the university. So just a thought there.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you. And I think that for now, we're primarily just preparing internships so that they can go straight into the workforce. Our target market, like mentioned, is 16 to 24, so it also provides 2 years after you graduate from university or college, so that you can still build, if your time is too busy during college or university, after you graduate, you have time to use our app, which will better prepare you for jobs. And regarding collaboration with universities, at the moment, we're trying to focus on maybe more local businesses so we can benefit them, and by the end of the first year or second year, have medium and large scale businesses as well.
Hi there, Liz Nesvold representing Acme Venture Capitalists. Can you tell me a little bit about the justification for a $480,000 pre-money valuation? So if you want $95,000 for 20%, give me a little color on how you came up with that valuation.
I definitely had some help with the team, but we thought it'd be good. Wait, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Oh, sure. Trying to get a sense for how you got to $95,000 for 20%.
All right. So first, we had a budget sheet, and we needed to figure out how much it would cost to start up, and we found that it was quite expensive to have someone else develop apps regarding time and skills, and it added up to around 90,000 in the end, which is why I came up with that number. And yes, if that answers your question.
Terrific. Any flexibility in terms of 20%?
Sure. Yes, definitely. There's a lot of flexibility. It could be negotiated.
Thank you.
Well done, guys. I think the brand name is fantastic, very clever, very engaging. I'm interested in your marketing plan. You mentioned that marketing was important, and $95,000 is not a lot of money, as you say. So how are you thinking about cleverly using your resources to market and grow?
All right. So the reason it's only 95,000 and it seems kind of low at first is because we kind of hope that once we take off, it will have a grand networking effect. Apart from that, initially when we're getting all the students and the businesses, we won't have to pay the businesses to start using our app. Essentially, what our plan is, we find our student users first, let them pre-download the app, but not have any access to any of the internals, so that when we present our idea to businesses, they see that we already have a large user basis, so that there's no fear from either side that, oh, there's not going to be any interns, or, oh, there's not going to be any businesses.
All right. Up next, I'm excited to introduce WellnessWise. I mentored this team, and it was really exciting to see them unite around their shared passion for mental health and well-being. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Rachel. Hello, everyone. We are here today to talk to you about the next upcoming startup that is going to revolutionize how people go about finding their therapist, acupuncturist, life coach, and more. Our app, WellnessWise, specializes in connecting certified, experienced wellness professionals with clients who are looking to find the help that they need. If you've ever tried to find a provider in this space, you probably know how difficult it can be. Don't you wish that there was a service that could help you find that and make it a lot easier? WellnessWise has found a way to do just that. With our team, me, Braden Sedler as the CEO, Taylor Knight as our CMO, Carlos Surador as our CTO, and Tristan Melton as our CFO, we've created an app that does just that. Our users have two significant problems related to their mental health. First, identifying and understanding specific problems one might have for their mental health is very difficult. And two, finding the right mental health professionals for support is very time-consuming and overwhelming. Our app, WellnessWise, is the Match.com of the wellness world. Our solution to this is we connect users to providers who are experiencing mental health challenges with caring mental health providers. And users can also book appointments through our app in a very simple way.
Hello? Okay. Sorry. Our user interface is simplistic and easy to use, which makes it a breeze for our customers. As you can see there, our login page is the first thing they're greeted by when downloading our app. After completing our login page, they are greeted by our personalized intake form, which helps us personalize their feed for them. They are then directed to our home page with a variety of different categories and specialists that best suit their needs for their mental issues and health. After selecting a specialist that they best prefer, they can view their profile, age, location, and also user reviews, and then also book appointments within. At WellnessWise, we take our user privacy very seriously by using reputable and secure payment gateways to secure checkouts. We also secure our user data as it can be very confidential and personal to them.
After the 2019 pandemic, the mental health industry has been growing by 5% annually, and the amount of users, potential users that we have are 32 million, and we believe that number will continue to grow.
So here are some of our competitors, a few of them being Calm, which is a meditation app. The next one is BetterHelp, which is like online counseling and therapy, as well as you can connect with a therapist through that app. And then there's ClassPass. So you can like book fitness appointments, spa treatments, beauty things through this app, but our app's gonna be more wellness based and this one's more like fitness and all that. So some things that make our app different from the others is we have personalized intake forms when you first receive the app, so we can really understand the people who are downloading our app, as well as a review system that is guaranteed 100% confidentiality. We have a wide range of services available for booking, and our app is special because it's super simple to book appointments, and it makes it super easy for the user. So some of our sales strategies is we are wanting to work with micro-influencers through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of the super visual apps that make it easy for people to like scroll and be able to see things easily. So we're wanting to use those apps as well as sponsored ad posting on like LinkedIn and Monster Jobs, so we can also get connected in the business world with different startup companies. We're also wanting to do brand partnerships with micro-influencers and all of those things. So we're gonna have dinners, parties, as well as wellness retreats so that people can kind of see what's going on and how we're getting involved in people's everyday wellness and then be super influenced and wanna download our app.
We make money through charging a booking fee. We charge $5 to $10 for classes under $100, and when we charge $20 for sessions over $100. And in the second year and for later, we're gonna have premium subscriptions, and we're also gonna add advertisements. Our financials. So in the first few years, we're gonna be focusing practically most of our revenue on marketing and getting the word out so that a lot of people know about our app. And in the first year, we're also not gonna be paying ourselves a salary, so we can like invest a lot of our money into the company. And once we have enough users and we have like a certain amount of people that know the app, then that's when we're going to start making a really good profit because we won't spend a lot of our money on marketing anymore. We're asking for $120,000 for 20% of the equity.
Thank you. Any questions?
Is there any questions for Wellness Wise?
Behind you.
Wow, amazing presentation. I was just interested in how you were going to vet the people that would be providing the service.
Yeah. So thank you for the question. So we are going to have a user agreement with the provider is basically a contract with our app that if they violate that and they reveal any information, they will be liable to be sued, and yes, they will get sued if they violate the terms of agreement.
Thank you.
You've mentioned a couple of things. The first, that you're not gonna pay yourself a salary, right? How are you planning to live without money?
Oh, good question, thank you.
That's a question number one. Question number two, there is such concept as run rate, monthly run rate for venture capital. Are you aware of it? So basically, how much it costs every month to continue, 10K, 20, 30, whatever. Have you calculated that amount for yourself? And number three question, considering that I'm a client and I'm coming to your app, I really enjoying the quality of service you provide, but then what will prohibit me from making and developing direct relationship with a service provider instead of, let's say, coming once again through app and contacting and paying you fee? Why I will stay with your app and not develop direct relationship? Thank you.
All right, I'm going to answer the first and the third question, and then our financial expert's going to answer the second question. So we all intend to work a separate job in order to pay for our living standards and do the company in the other time that we have.
And then how much we're paying per month? We're gonna have like a part-time app developer, so that if anything happens, then we'll be like fine. Like if the app like shuts down for a couple minutes or something, and that will cost like $5,000 a month. And then all of the expenses combined, we're probably gonna be spending $10,000 a month.
And the last question, so why would they come to us rather than just booking it from the person directly? Oh, so we only charge a fee for the first time. So they pay us a flat fee for the first appointment, and then afterwards, the therapist, for example, they would just, they would work with the client directly and not through us. But a reason that they would use us initially is because of is for our scheduling, because therapists, especially, like that's just the best example, are notorious for taking a long time to respond because they work for themselves and they answer a lot of their own emails. So we work as almost as their own assistant, and we schedule the appointments for them. So they don't need to worry about calling and setting up a meeting with the client. So it's a lot faster.
Acme VC again. So if I invest $120,000, what do you think my exit is? What's our exit together? And then I'll have a follow-up question in a minute.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
How do I get liquidity down the road? Do we have an ideal acquirer for the app down the road?
Yeah, so once our app gets off the ground, we are going to have investor rounds, and yes, we will release that to investors, but first we want to build a sustainable app so we can provide investors with capital in return for their investment.
Terrific. And as you think about the business model for just stay with therapists, you're doing the scheduling, you're making it easier to fill up the roster. Can you think about any other add-ons to help them as sole proprietors of their business?
Of course. So as it was spoken, we have a premium option, and with that option, the providers, it's mainly for the provider where they pay a monthly subscription to get access to their profiles being pushed to more people that would better suit them. So if you're a therapist, for example, and you specialize in family therapy, and someone someone put in for family therapy that's what they need, you would be pushed to the front of the website. So you have a higher chance of someone choosing you to go with. Although that does not mean your rating will increase, because our app will have a rating function.
A lot of my questions were answered already, but I wanted to thank you for addressing a really important, I think, gap in the market. It's really hard for people to connect with the therapist, find one, start the process. So I think this at least is like this, I don't know, a jumping off space for them. I had one question. Who pays the booking fee? Is it the client or is it the provider?
So the user would pay the booking fee. So let's just say for therapy, they purchase a session for $100. A portion of that, $100, goes to us. That's our flat fee. In the same way that, at DoorDash, they get a flat fee for every reservation that's ever made. But we only charge for the first one. So then after that, the therapist can connect with the clients and they make the full amount of money. So it really benefits the therapist, or the wellness provider. Any other questions? Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Very interesting concept, and we certainly, appreciate and know how difficult it is to find good doctors, good people, good service. My thought is in terms of your target market. I know you mentioned 32 million addressable in your target market. Who do you see in that demographic? Are you targeting wealthier clients that are getting more like a concierge service? And that kind of leads into my other thought, was more of an SAS model where you're getting more of a subscription fee. I know we pay a couple $1,000s a year for subscription doctor fee, right? And basically it's just they're on call, right? So you're kind of plugging them in. And then in terms of leads into exit strategy, I think as well. In terms of how many subscribers you have on that. But also I'm thinking insurance-wise, how are you plugging into insurance? Is it some preventative care or how you're getting some benefit from that?
Oh, so I might have to re-ask you a question, but for insurance, when you're filling out the survey or the form, you have to type in, you have the option to type in your insurance number. So if it's like acupuncturist, and it'll show you which ones are covered by your insurance. I'm sorry, can you repeat the other parts of the question? Oh, so in terms of wealth, so our main demographic is between 18 and 34 years old. Primarily, we will have short-term and long-term options, because we are, based on our research, we are assuming that a lot of it is going to come from college students, and then people who are out of college and who are trying to focus on their mental health. And our demographic is around middle class to slightly upper class. Upper middle, basically.
If there's no more questions, I'd like to give you another round of applause for Wellness Wise.
Hi, everyone. I would like to introduce my team, Communiteer. So, Communiteers, it's time to get up here. It's been a joy working with this team and learning about their passions and the changes that they want to see in the world. So I will pass it off to them.
Hello and welcome. Thank you all for being here today. We are Communiteer. I am CEO Carson Warren.
I am CFO Mariah Ruvkava.
I'm CTO Jenna Vittel.
And I'm CMO Olivia Curran.
As a high school student that wants wants to make a change in my community and go to college at UNC, community service is a big part of my life. However, I and other members of my team have had a hard time finding community service opportunities in our area that interest us, and so do other students. There are 17 million high school students in the U.S., 25% of which want to volunteer, and 20% of U.S. students or high schools require volunteering to graduate, and nonprofits need the help. Communiteer is an app that helps high school students and young adults find community service opportunities in their area that interest them.
So this is an example of what our app will look like. So the first screen is the login page where you enter your username and password to access the navigation portal. From the navigation portal, you can view your profile where you can see how many hours of community service you've completed, and also your rating out of 5 stars given to you by nonprofits. You can also access the settings to change your profile. You can use the search bar to search for nonprofits and other people using the app, and you can also use the maps section to find community service opportunities near you. So the next slide is when you log into our app, you have the option to pick from the global goals which you're most interested in and which you'd like to volunteer surrounding. So for example, it could be gender equality. So here's an example of a nonprofit's profile, the American Red Cross. It's got their logo, their rating out of 5 stars, which is given to them by the volunteers. You also have the description of the nonprofit and opportunities below, which you can also view on the map.
We did some market research by sending out a Google form to some students from the US and UK, and 70% of the students said that they've had trouble finding community service opportunities in their community, and 95% of the students said that Communiteer would be beneficial to helping them find more efficient and closer community service opportunities. We also did some market research by walking around Cambridge and interviewing some of our target market and asking them their opinions on the app if any investors would like to see after all of the presentations are over. Our marketing strategy is to post ads on social media that high schoolers and our target market are frequently on, such as Instagram and TikTok, to grab their attention and show them the features that our app has. Although Facebook does not have much of our target market, it's still really good to build trust between parents and teachers, and so they're comfortable and familiar with our app. And we also will partner our app with content creators so they can show what a day looks like doing community service on our app. We also partner with companies like Algus Beauty, who own a seaweed harvesting farm in Mexico where you can have the opportunity to go volunteer in Mexico and clean beaches. We have some competitors in this industry, which are Golden, That Helps, and Volunteer Match. However, we exceed them in the categories trustworthiness, user-friendliness, and efficiency. Although we do have tier-modeled pricing to ensure the efficiency and security of our app.
So you might be wondering, how might we make money? We are taking on a similar model like Class Dojo to sell our product to schools, who then distribute it to students. Similar terms, we're using B2B model. We're planning on charging depending on the sizing of your school in tiers. As you can see on the slide, larger schools are charged more. However, per tier, it's relatively still low.
There is a one-time initiation fee of $150 for community service organizations to market their nonprofits on our app. This is to so we can make sure we can conduct background checks and ensure the safety of our users.
So we're going to be using a phased approach to growth. So phase 1 is to target private and charter schools in the US, as they tend to typically have a larger and more flexible budget. Our phase 2 would be to be expanding to public schools, as they have 10 times more students in the US than private schools. And then phase 3 is to be expanding to different countries, for example, the UK, and including Android in our services as well, as 40% of phone users in the US use Android.
On our slide here, you can see our year 1 total income, starting in operating costs. We're asking for $90,000 for 25% equity in our company. Here you can see our projected year 2 total and operating expenses, as well as year 3 total operating expenses. As you can see, here's a big jump This is when we expect to expand to public schools. We are Communiteer, and thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Communiteer?
Right. So thank you very much for your presentation, and I really enjoyed your financial forecast for year 1, 2, and 3. So I assume possibly you have some plan for fundraising, and if you do, or at least you have some assumption of it, have you calculated the percentage of which after all fundraising rounds you founders will still keep in order to be motivated to continue developing of your VC? Thank you.
So in the first year of us, of our company, we will all have individual jobs outside of this to sustain ourselves.
I'd be happy to discuss this more with you after our presentation.
So have you thought of how your company is structured? Is it a 501c3? Are you considered a charity? Or is this a for-profit entity?
So we were thinking of doing for-profit, but as we're working with NGOs, we do need to take profit for ourselves as we need an income. But we are targeting it as a societal. We want it to be a benefit to society, as especially here in the UK, it's really hard to find volunteer opportunities. And we think it would be really nice if people can use our app, especially with schools, to promote it as more of less of a chore and more of a thing that people want to do.
We are also planning on giving back to some of the nonprofits and businesses that are on our platform. Once we grow more and get more money when we're growing, we can also give back to the businesses, giving them stuff, giving them a small portion of money or some money so they can have it to benefit their nonprofits and stuff.
You just answered the question I was about to ask, so thank you very much. In addition, can you think of any add-ons in terms of opening up maybe some kind of advertising for B corporations or entities who do well by doing good, either giving back to the community themselves or eco-friendly? Is there anything else that you can bring on as another means for a pay-for model, just other ways to drive revenues? And that's a tough question, by the way. So
we were thinking, it's less about the nonprofits and businesses, but we were thinking of going to school board meetings and stuff, kind of showing them our product and telling them what it's about, how it can help them, how it can make their students more motivated, more happy, more interested in the type of community service that they're doing. To market more.
And to that point, will you be able to add some kind of connectivity between the volunteers as you develop your app?
Yes, we were also, you can see if maybe one of your friends is volunteering on a certain day, you can go in groups with them, you can all do it together as a group.
So we were thinking it would be more like the non-profits would have a selection list of the different activities that you could do for community service, and then it would have a attendance list of the people who are going.
Sorry, Christopher, do you plan to link with any, you said you were using major social media platforms. Do you have any influencers that would be in your eye to link with?
Yeah, we were thinking of bigger influencers, maybe on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like Mr. Beast or Emma Chamberlain, because they do sort of vlogs, but they do stuff where it's they kind of go on experiences, vlogs, stuff like that, showing it off. And then also they have a positive message to kids, and they aim at our target market a lot. Stuff, maybe some influencers around that type of, yeah.
we have another round of applause for Communiteer, please?
Oh, we put it up there.
Let's bring up our final team, Algus Beauty. And you're all receiving a little sample of Algus Beauty's product right now.
Bienvenidos a todos. I kind of want to take the stage a little bit and kind of give you a picture of what our product is for. So imagine yourself, you're going to Cancun. Vacation, you've been just wanting to go to the beach, you've been trying to get into the waters. It's just amazing, right? But then they let you know you cannot get into the beach. There has been an intrusion of sargassum and you cannot have fun. You're disappointed, it's been a long flight. And then you ask yourself, well, what is sargassum? How can we solve the problem? Well, I'd like to present to you our brand, Algus Beauty. I'm CEO Yukari. This is our CMO, Rachel, our CFO, Noah, and our CPO, Tyler.
So why is sargassum a problem? Tourists in Cancun are using harmful sunscreen. These sunscreens, along with other toxins, are providing seaweed with the nutrition that they need to massively overgrow, which is also dangerous to marine life. This seaweed is washing up on beaches and destroying tourist attractions with their rotting odor and obstructive nature.
Though we really want to focus on the ecosystem and also our marine life, we also want to give back to the community. We are based in Cancun, Mexico, so 2% of each of our product will go back to our workers of Algus Beauty.
We have created a luxury sunscreen that uses this invasive seaweed as its primary ingredient. This product is environmentally friendly and 100% biodegradable. Gathering this seaweed will open up more job opportunities for the community, and also we have decided to partner with Communiteers to also open up community service positions for people all around the world. Together we have designed the logo and packaging for all of our luxury products. Our inspiration comes from the shapes of the seagasm itself to eventually come up with a product design. We have also provided you with a sample prototype of our product. We have decided to create 3 different products, all including sargassum as its main ingredient. Depending on your preference, you can choose between a cream, balm, and spray, all showcasing a luxury shatterproof glass container.
So why us and why choose our product over our other brands? So what we do special is we use sargassum as the main ingredient in our sunscreen, unlike our competitors, P4O and Green People, and this actually gives us a massive competitive edge and leverage over those other companies that we're competing against. As for targets, we are looking for surfers, swimmers, divers, families on vacation, high-income luxury families, and also luxury individuals. And here we have a website to help reach consumers from other parts of the world and not just Cancun, where we are based. As for marketing, we will post daily across all platforms, create YouTube ads, partner with hotels, look into search engine optimization, and finally, we have designed a PR box to send out for influencers. So to better promote our product and get our name out into the beauty industry, we have invited Latina influencers to Cancun to post about our products, and our goal is to turn their followers into our consumers.
Did you know that sunscreen is an $11 billion industry? We aim to get a fraction of that with our business. We are asking for $275,000 for 20% equity in our company. The first year, we project to become sustainable, and we accept to make $2 million in revenue. By our third year, we will expand to U.S. soil an estimated revenue of $7 million. Because we are investing a lot of money into marketing, research, and development, we will have a big reach.
We're Algas Beauty. Thank you for listening. And remember, save the sea, save your skin. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Venture capitalists always have questions. So where do you expect to manufacture the product?
We are going to manufacture it in Cancun, Mexico, but we do want to expand to U.S. soils.
Terrific. And have you factored in the cost for producing the product plus distribution?
Each product will cost $10 to make, and yeah.
Terrific. So good profit margin. Is there any flexibility on the ownership for my $275,000?
A little bit.
Okay.
Fantastic pitch, fantastic product, and I think a lot of people resonate with the fact that it's trying to save the planet, so great pitch. One thing that's really important with products is trust. Can you talk me through a little bit about the science sort of testing process to ensure that, you know, it actually works on our skins?
Yeah, so actually we are strictly against animal cruelty, and we have gone through the testing process, and we have discovered that there are several benefits to using this sunscreen, such as skin barrier repair, reduced inflammation, anti-aging, which everyone loves, high moisture content, and skin whitening, actually. So there are several benefits.
I wanted to say something. It's not really a question. I just want to come and say something positive. I loved how you came to the audience. It was really welcoming. I love how you guys gave samples. That was great. Good job, guys.
I really enjoyed the part where you deal with a local challenge in terms of seaweed and you know, cleaning the beaches and taking care of tourism industry in Mexico, which is important for that country. At the same time, I have a different question. And as far as I understand, you're up to international exposure and selling to different markets. You are exposed to currency risk. Have you ever considered what you're going to do with it, selling to the whole world and dealing with local currency, how you're going to mitigate the risks that they could devaluate or appreciate? So, thank you.
Yeah, well, we're currently based in Cancun, so as we continue to expand, we'll take in consideration the currency values and everything that could affect the company and the product. Thank you.
How do you use it since there's so much like oil in it? Because if you dump it, it's just going to get all over you.
The sample is not what it's really going to be and look like. It's just a representation.
She's on it.
I noticed that you were going to use glass for your products. There's lots of companies now are looking at not just what the product comes in, but how you can recycle that. So what are you thinking about in terms of recycling the product itself?
Well, we've also decided to make it a glass product because that's more of a luxury material, and also to ensure that it's shatterproof. So just to make sure that no glass is left on beaches and anywhere else. We've also taken into consideration recycling sea glass that has been washed up on the shore and using that as a percentage of the glass that we would be using anyway.
What I really meant is, though, the product actually comes in a glass bottle, and obviously, rather than just recycle that glass bottle with normal recycling, have you thought about a way that people who are buying a product can send that back to you, or so you can reuse the gloss?
We haven't actually taken that completely into consideration, but yes, we could add an aspect of that where you can send another bottle to get refills instead of continuing to produce glass that's unnecessary.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is a fantastic idea. I think I missed the part about how are you going to ensure, like, who's going to be harvesting the invasive algae? Is that all going to be collected from the beaches in Cancun, or how are you going to ensure that the purity of your product is, you know, intact?
Well, yeah, we obviously want to help back to the community, so we do want people from the area to help us harvest, but we do have a manufacturer that will help us with the rest of the process. We also have this kind of consumer, like, that are going to come promote the harvesting aspect of it. So it's going to hit both ends. Yeah, thank you. Okay, enough with the questions.
Hi, I don't know if I missed this in the presentation, but is your product safe for marine life? And does it repollute the ocean?
No, that's kind of like the main aspect we're hitting. Due to other sunscreens, they have these chemicals that are hurting our marine life. Ours is purely made, well, almost purely made with the algae, so it's gonna help actually the marine life instead of damaging it.
If you're using the algae from the ocean that's polluting the ocean, and then you're harvesting it into your product, and then you use your product and you take it into the ocean, would your ingredients reproduce into, you know?
Some of the primary ingredients in the sunscreen that is most popular, we switch that out and we use sargassum. So it reverses the process slowly to make the ocean work.
So sargassum won't be going back into the ocean?
No.
If there's no more questions, let's give the last presentation a massive round of applause.
Oh my God. Great job. Thanks. All right, thank you so much to all of you. The staff and I always say, leaving this program, that our faith in humanity is restored. It's been really nice to see the brainstorm sessions along with these 4 ideas that they came up with. I think there's a lot of problems in the world to be solved, but again, this group gives us a lot of faith that we actually have a chance of solving them. I just want to give a big congratulations to this group. I was adding it up in my head, and I think they've had a total of 10 hours, including time to practice their pitches, to work on these business ideas. They created year-long financial projections. They've got a whole business plan, along with the pitches that you're seeing here and the market research that they compiled. So they've done a lot. I think you guys did amazing at answering questions and improvising when you needed to. That is a part of business, that's a part of life, and you did a really great job. And thank you so much for all the questions from the audience. I'd like to pass things over to Liz Nesvold here. So we don't necessarily look at this as a competition where there's one winner, but we are going to, Liz is going to provide a little bit more feedback and talk about potentially which of these businesses is closest to being ready to launch, along with some other ideas around these businesses. So I will now pass it off to Liz, who is the president of Crescit.
So now you know I'm a poser. I'm not really a venture capitalist from Acme. I am, as Whitney said, I'm the president of Crescit, and I am 90 days into my presidential leadership role. I have to tell you, you were all amazing. I'm blown away by your comfort on the stage, the diligence with which you approach your subject matter. The presentations, I could not have done that as a high schooler, let alone probably in college. I would not have been able to do that. So amazing job, all of you. It really is, it's hard to, and as Whitney says, it's not about winning, but really, from my perspective, it's were you launch ready in your idea, in the depth with which you brought your subject matter forth, the way you analyzed the revenues. And I judge M&A pitch competitions all the time, and I have to say I put you on par with the college students that I see. So in terms of the teams, you all did an amazing job. I mean, you had an audience of professionals throwing tough questions at you. And so whether it was, and I took a couple of notes, turn it up, starting with your storytelling, identifying an issue that you were solving, delving into market research. It was really quite a good job. Pre-money valuation, I hit you hard on. I'm glad to know that some of you are more flexible than others. With wellness-wise, you were very comfortable and seamless in your answers. There definitely were a couple people who literally looked like they had been marketing the product. One such person on your team talked to you afterward. You all spoke slowly and clearly on your team in particular. I love that you identified the problem that you were looking at. Great market analysis. The competitive set was very clear to me. On the financials, I think for wellness-wise, sorry, I moved to wellness-wise, always a worry when you're not paying yourselves, and the question was raised for sure. But I think you answered a tough question very seamlessly, and I posed to you, what's the exit? On Communiteer, you know, I love anything that is given back to the community and finding a way to connect people. The marketing strategy, I meant to ask you the question on LinkedIn. I saw a number of you use Facebook. That's really for the more mature set, as you said in our pre-discussions. LinkedIn, again, could be used as well. I love that you're targeting schools. It was very well thought through, from initiation fee on organizations to giving back as well. And I gotta get this name wrong. Was it Elgas Beauty? You know, listen, you sold me on the product. Anything that's gonna keep me from getting sunburn, or I love the anti-aging effect. That was brilliant. I hit you hard with the manufacturing question, the cost of production and distribution. You answered it seamlessly. You gave a market drill down into an $11 billion industry. Brilliant. Little pricey at $275 for 20%, but thank you for being slightly flexible in the amount of ownership I could take from that. But Whitney asked me to come up with somebody who was launch ready. And so on the launch ready, I have to give a nod to Turn It Up. Where are you? All right. Turn it up. Rock on. Really, I could see the application there. You did a great job in terms of the collateral, having social media running right on the presentation as if it were on my phone. It really did connect me to the prospect that we could roll this out in short order. So beautiful job there. And then Whitney, did you have a cohesive team award that you wanted to give? Okay. Great. There is another who's got a cohesive team award. But again, as I mentioned, brilliant job to all of you. It just is amazing how you worked as leaders together. And Whitney and Rachel asked me to talk a little bit about my journey, and so I will do that. Do I have a clicker, or is a... Oh, thank you, thank you. So I know I am what's standing between you and celebration and beverages, so I'll keep it short. Let's see if I can do this. There are a couple things that we look for as you embark on this program, and really is an opportunity to help you empower yourselves, take ownership of the direction of your life, and thinking through the basics of setting up a business as a teen already sets you on a better path here. I hope that you will continue to lean in and look for opportunities to do more of this, but it's really quite a brilliant first step. Embracing diversity of thought, I'm going to come back to this in my journey as well, but every life experience that you have from this point forward will be with new faces, with different voices, and you'll have to find a way to connect and work together, and you've done that. And it's tough in an intensive environment, finding ways to click with each other, but you did a brilliant job. Last thing is really using that education and financial literacy and leaning forward. It really does set you on the path for setting yourselves up for the life that you envision, and really finding your passion. That is the most important thing, and that's what I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of college. Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, they didn't have quite as many internship opportunities as they do today. Not as many programming opportunities to learn as much. So I came out of college, political science, economics, thought I would work on Capitol Hill, and I ended up with the first real job working for a government services firm doing what's called requests for proposals, responding to pitches. And it was not my dream job as I leaned in. But one thing that I did is I said, let me learn something from this and let me take it to the next opportunity. I learned to do graphics, and that sort of set me up for the next thing. I had to do analysis to justify the proposal to the government, and I had to follow directions. So the government would say, your presentation can be 200 pages, but not more than 257. Every other page needs to look like this. Your page numbers need to be formatted this way. And if I missed just one step, they would throw my whole proposal out. So that's what I learned on my first job. But I want to tell you about the job before the job. The job before the job was the first job that made me enough money to come to New York City and work. And that was being a factory worker. Anybody heard of Frito-Lay? Doritos, Fritos, Munchos? Okay. So I worked on the Muncho line for a summer. And it was not a job that I intended. I'll tell you the story over a beverage. But I ended up in this job where I was on the line packing Munchos. And if you've ever seen I Love Lucy, this is really for the parents. You remember the chocolate factory where you start out slow? Well, they did that to me on the Muncho line, and all of a sudden the Munchos were flowing off the table. I'm trying to make boxes, and next to me on either side were workers whose permanent job for their careers was being on the factory line. And those people leaned in, they helped me, they taught me how to do the job, and I probably learned more about people and human interaction from that one job on the factory line. And it was an incredible experience. So back to, you'll run into people from all walks of life. It is so important to lean in, be open to thought there. Again, coming off the Muncho line, who would have thought that I would be here today as a president? I leaned in and leveled up from my graphic skill set, my financial analyst work, to coming to investment banking. I was a 30-year investment banker. I launched my own business. Now this is why I launched a business. 2 years before I launched my company, I was hit by the proverbial bus, and I survived. I literally was hit by a bus, a MARTA bus in Atlanta, crossing Peachtree and Lenox, if you know Atlanta. And I survived, and it was a miracle I survived. If I did not have an umbrella in my hand, I would not be here today. But that moment of clarity, and I saw my daughter's face, she was 3, and I said, coming out of that experience, what do I want my life to be? So that's the first time I designed my own life, and I knew that I wanted to take my skill set and rework investment banking, do it a different way. So I ended up launching Silver Lane, which is the company I sold to a Fortune 500, which set me on my financial path for freedom. But we were the first paperless broker-dealer. We used technology seamlessly. We could be in multiple locations. We worked remotely, and this is 16 years ago, before COVID, before people learned that you could work remotely and work connected together. But again, every little life experience brings you to a certain place. When I was leaving investment banking, I leaned into another opportunity, and this one scared the heck out of me. I left a career that I'd known to join Crescent, a firm that I knew because I knew the co-founders from the beginning. I had sold them 3 companies, had a great rapport, but when they asked me to step in as their president, I said to my husband the day before I joined, am I going to be able to do this? Am I a fraud? Should I be doing this? And he said, you're ready. You're ready. I said, what if I do a terrible job? He said, you won't do a terrible job. I said, what if they don't like me? He said, they'll love you. So I had this wonderful cheerleader and my husband to lean in, to join with 2 co-founders who I'd never worked together with. So much like your experiences over the last week, I had to learn how to navigate with 2 co-founders who were really starting their succession planning path, to give up some control, to give up some of the things for which they had autonomy. And it was not an easy task. It sounds like it resembled the week that you had together. Each one had a different style. Trying to figure out how to communicate with each other was quite a challenge, but I'm now almost 90 days in, and we are thick as thieves as co-founder and president leading the organization. I couldn't be more proud to be here. I can't even believe that this kid from central New York and Pennsylvania is now the president of 444 people, and I couldn't be more thrilled. But the thing that makes me most proud of this organization is really the diversity. In financial services, there is just not as much diversity as one would like to see. For me, as a woman in investment banking, it was always a rarity to be up negotiating, leading deals at the table. It's beginning to change. But when I first got to Crescent, I said, show me your numbers. Tell me about your diversity. And I could see it, I could feel it, but they didn't know their own numbers. And so when they calculated how many women were in the ranks, 44% female, I said, show me the levels. Because it's easy to hire a bunch of first-time applicants. What is harder is getting them to stay and commit and leveling up. And we've done that as an organization. We're working harder on diversity to make sure we can do a better job on BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color. These things are important to us because it makes us a more well-rounded organization and able to lean into our clients. But it all starts somewhere. So I expect each and every one of you to apply for our internships. I want to see you connect with me on social media if I can be helpful to you as you look at navigating your own careers. I'd love to do that for you. But we are so, so thrilled that you are here. You did a wonderful job. You are an incredible group. And a lot of applause to you for stepping up on the stage. And I was a little nervous stepping up here too, because I know we're live streaming. But just super thrilled to have everybody here. And with that, we can hopefully wrap it up and go to a little beverage time. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. And thank you again to everyone for joining today. We are going to head back to our classroom space at Clare College. So there's going to be just some light snacks and refreshments there. You can come and take a look at what the kids have been working on through the week and follow up with some of those questions you had about their businesses. So you can follow us. We'll be walking back there right now. It's about an 8-minute walk. And otherwise, you can Google Maps it to Clare College, and it's the old court. So we hope to see you all there, and thank you so much again.